Hey, it's Buddy Lee. Welcome to my channel. We have Season 42 War 4 in this video, and we're going against XK9. And for this war, I'm bringing in Tigera, Kitty, and Odin. In Section 1, we'll be taking Path 1 against this Angela. So for this Angela, she has Arc Overload and Vigorous Assault, so when she has Regen active she'll be unblockable, and she also has the Unstoppable Armor Global. So because of Arc Overload, Angela will start the fight unblockable until the regen falls off, and she also started unstoppable because of the global. So we'll just let her cool off for a second before we start to attack. Now we should be able to keep Neutralize applied, and that's going to get rid of these issues for the rest of the fight. Two heavies into an SP2, and this fight is over. That was my only Section 1 fight, and now we're going to go up against this EMP mod Nick Fury, and we're going to use Kitty for this fight. Now you see that I brought Odin with me, and this is where I was going to apply the shock resistance pre-fight. However, I forgot to activate it before going in, which was not great. So I got 3 prowess pretty quickly, so I can now phase, but I really want to get 10 so I can go unblockable while phasing. I'm gonna phase into this SP1, but Fury doesn't have 5 or more tactical charges yet, so instead of hitting me and doing no damage, it actually does miss, and I have to block the second half. Now I have my 10 prowess and I can go unblockable, and this time I phase into the SP1 and it does land. Now I can stay above 10 prowess and chip him down. This fight is starting to take a long time, and this fight also has aspect of evolution, so every time Fury fills a bar of power, he's increasing his power rate and getting the specials faster. And right here he's gaining more power than I expected and got to 2 bars of power, and I end up taking the whole SP2. I try to keep phasing to cancel out the damage, and he lands a combo ending in a light attack, meaning the big bleed, so I try to phase again and he catches me with SP1. I pause, thinking, is there any way I can get out of this? And then the realization that I'm done for. That goes down as my first death of the season. It started bad with forgetting the pre-fight, and even though it was still doable without it, I take the death. I'm gonna finish him off with Tigera, and I place the pre-fight this time. I used a power start 1, and the plan is to bait heavy and counter to get him into his second life, and then I should have an SP2 ready to go. I'll be holding block to prevent him from throwing any specials. I stall a little bit to let his health drain down as much as possible before launching this SP2. We still have a little ways to go, so I bait a few more heavies, and I'm gonna get to SP1 and intercept with it to finish him off. Tigera handles the cleanup, and now we're moving on to my Section 2 assignments on Path 1. This fight is against Surfer, and he has Vigor, which we really aren't concerned about, and it's pretty much just a normal Surfer fight. So we want to bait his SP1, and he really doesn't want to cooperate in this fight. I get a little tired of waiting for SP1, so I just throw my SP2, and afterwards he throws his SP2, and we just back up and counter with our heavy attack. Now we counter with an SP1 for the finish. Next up is Nimrod on Buffett node, and we'll also have to watch out for the Unstoppable Armor Global. He starts out with the Unstoppable Armor, so we have to wait that out, and then we counter his heavy. We knock him down, and then he throws SP1, which we miss counter, and then we land a few more heavies into our SP2. One more SP1 miss counter, and we're back to another SP2 already for the finish. Now onto Boss Island, and our first fight here will be against CGR on Stunning Reflection Polka Dot Power. For this one I use a Power Start 1, which should help me place a Rupture to start gaining power. The first hit of this fight is always a gamble. He'll activate an armor, and he has a 30% chance to go unstoppable. However, it seems more like 100%. I wanted CGR to be backed into his corner before he threw his special, but we missed it anyways and looked to counter with my SP1. Unfortunately, the hit wasn't unblockable that landed, so it doesn't place a Rupture, and now we have to look for a heavy counter. I need to bait the SP1 when he's against the wall, and he's being a little difficult, but we do end up getting him to throw it, and we land a nice heavy counter off of it. Now we are in control of this fight. We finally make it to our SP2 and close it out. Our final fight in this war is going to be against this brute force Sasquatch mini boss. We have a White Mags pre-fight here, so we won't have to worry about Limber, but there also is Hard Knock Life node that will place a disorient when we parry and reduce ability accuracy. I go to counter Sasquatch's SP1 here, and he dexes out of it, so I throw SP1 to get out of trouble. This time I try to throw a light, but I was too slow, and I use one indestructible charge up. I go ahead and use an SP1 to refresh his sense, and then he throws SP2, which we heavy counter. Now we refresh the other sense with another SP1, and then I land a combo to push him to another SP2. He is now in Wrath of Tanarak, so we need to be aware of stun immunity and unstoppable, and we end up going for an SP1 intercept off of his SP1. Here we land a heavy intercept. We land another SP1 and a heavy intercept one more time. Then we strategically take a combo to the face to get to our SP2 and then launch it, followed by an immediate SP1 to finish him off. That Sasquatch really did not want to go down without a good fight. Well, that was it for my war. Unfortunately, we did take our first death of the season, and we also did not come out on top on this one either. Well, that was it for my war. Unfortunately, we did take our first death of the season, and we also did not come out on top of this one either. We had 9 deaths to their 3, and they played really well. Well, that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.